Many people these days are turning to hypnosis in order to change their pattern or habit or state and to get a fast result. My next guest, Nora Stefanescu, she is a hypnotherapist and she discusses the practice, its benefits, and awareness around our often daily hypnosis that we fall into and how to step out of it. I hope you enjoy the discussion. Thank you so much.
There is an emotion associated with what happened. When we're able, and this is what we do in hypnosis pretty much, is we remove the emotion associated with that particular event.
Okay.
And when we alleviate the emotion, the event just becomes the event. The emotion dissipates, and all there is left is, well, that happened. Moving on. And what I'm left with is the wisdom of the event. That's why hypnosis is so successful, because we take that emotion out of the body.
So from what I understand, you were a graphic design, you were into graphic design, and you're an artist, and you kind of needed a shift. And now you're a hypnotherapist, right?
Yes, that's right.
So why did you get into hypnotherapy during this shift?
Well, I think in many ways this started when I was a little girl. I was very much connected to the invisible world, I would say.
Okay.
I think it could be connected to the fact that I was in a coma when I was 3.5 months old. And later in my life, I actually did what is called an age regression. And I regressed back to the time when I was in the coma. And even though
Oh, wow.
I was a baby, I was in the incubator, and my arms was tied up, and I still have markings on my arms from that time. I could see the doctors walking up and down and the nurses, but I was in a coma, and I was nonverbal because I was 3.5 months old. But
So did you have a session with another hypnotherapist and they gave you a regression to when you were in this coma?
Yes, I had a session with a psychotherapist who was trained in
Gotcha.
hypnotherapy as well. And that's how I got to regress back to that time. And the reason I did that is because throughout my life, even though I was very connected and extrasensory, and I kind of felt very deeply about things, and I was not able to regulate myself when it came to stress. Certain things would just aggravate me to the point where I would become catatonic, and that's actually a
Oh,
medical
wow.
term.
Wow.
So
Okay.
my being, everything would just freeze. And the reason, which is what I learned later, is the reason that was happening was because it was a comfortable place for me. When I was in the coma, the comatose state, I was there for about 2 weeks in a coma as a baby. Everybody, the doctors, I was told, had given up. They told my mother, she shouldn't accept that I would live, and everybody gave up. And then one day I miraculously woke up. But the point is, even though the baby doesn't have a language, everything, all information from the moment the baby's conceived in the baby's womb, all the information that the baby receives is being stored in your mind, in the being, right? So this comatose state, when I was kind of vegetating there, it became a comfortable place for me to hang out. And stress, the inability to handle stress, would create dissociation and would put me back in that dissociative, in that comatose state. So through bringing the awareness, creating awareness through going back in time, we call that age regression, going back in time, reliving it, seeing what happened, experiencing it, So awareness is the key here. Okay. I was able to heal that part of myself. And so when stress would occur from that moment on, I would know how to self-regulate through breathing, through knowing, wait, this is not then. I'm not 3.5 months old. This is, I'm an adult. I should know what to do. I know what to do. So this is just
so this
a little bit of a
psychotherapist that
background.
you went to, she was able to bring this to your awareness.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's right.
And you were kind of like, this is really cool. I want to do that when I grow up.
Well, it was definitely something that intrigued me. And I had been reading Freud and Jung since I was 13 years old. So I think my path was sort of paved without really knowing that this was going to be it.
I see.
And then when I had my own business as a graphic designer, and at some point I got burned out and I needed a change, and I decided that I wanted to study something that really interests me and is very helpful for people. And I went in for a hypnotherapy session, and after the third session, I knew that this was something that I wanted to do, to learn, to be helpful for others, because I had such tremendous breakthroughs in just 3 sessions.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty fantastic.
That's how it all started. Yes.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. So as a hypnotherapist these days, what do you do with clients? Like,
primarily clients come in for stress. So this inability to relax, there is an overload, what we call an overload of message units that comes from the outside, and there is an inability to process. Yes. So that's one. Stress is a big one. Another one is wanting to create change, to break certain habits and unwanted behaviors like smoking, like chewing tobacco, overeating.
okay.
These are very targeted things that people come in for. Gotcha. And pretty much hypnosis is really for can be used for pretty much anything.
And that's what I was going to ask. When I do hear of people stopping smoking through hypnosis. So is hypnosis what you do through hypnotherapy? What's kind of the difference between the two?
Hypnosis is part of hypnotherapy. We call it hypnotherapy because it is used. We call it hypnotherapy to separate it from, say, stage hypnosis or show hypnosis.
Okay.
That's different. That's pure entertainment.
Gotcha.
But hypnotherapy is when we use it to change behaviors, patterns, do in a medical way, so to speak, or,
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So in hypnotherapy, you do hypnosis.
That's right. That's
but
exactly
you don't
right.
refer to hypnotherapy as hypnosis because you don't want it to get mixed up with the show of hypnosis.
Well, if people ask me, what do you do? I say, I'm a hypnotherapist. Oh, interesting. What does that mean? Well, I put you under and you go in hypnosis, and this is what happens. So hypnosis is part of hypnotherapy. There is no real separation. Yeah.
Gotcha. But I understand the distinction.
Hypnosis is a very natural state. Okay. There is this stigma around hypnosis, and see, what I do primarily is I educate people when it comes to hypnosis, because you are more or less in a state of hypnosis even right now. Okay. You are in an altered state of hypnosis when you drive down the freeway and you miss your exit. Gotcha. So your body knows what it's doing because you drove down that road so many times that it's on autopilot, so to speak. Your mind is wandering away. That's a hypnotic state.
Does that have something to do with like your brain frequency can be in like alpha or theta or or beta or
That's exactly right. Yes. So that's what's happening when right now you and I are more or less in beta.
Okay.
Unless we drift away in alpha together.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
But when let's take someone who is working in a 9 to 5 job, or anytime you're out there in the world active, you are in beta. Your brain is in beta and high beta brain waves. Okay. What we're doing with hypnosis is we're slowing down those brain waves into alpha, and the next step down is theta. And what's really happening is the wave turns into particle. And when a particle is present, the information that we want to get to the subconscious mind can be transported easier than on a wave. And I'm going to elaborate a little bit about that. Okay. When we have a wave is filled with information. Okay. That's why you're in high beta. You have to process a lot of information when you work. You multitask, you do 50 things at once. You have to pay attention to everything. You get information through the eyes, through all senses. So you're highly stimulated. Okay. All that information comes in on a wave. When we hypnotize you, we actually first hypnotize the body. Why do we do that? Because in a relaxed state, the brain waves slow down. The information is being kind of narrowed down and just reduced to the particle. And inside a particle is when we can drop new information for change. Hypnosis is a heightened state of awareness where your body is relaxed, which allows the hypnotherapist to work with your subconscious mind. Because when the body is relaxed, see, the body is really where we hold all trauma, all information that is aggravating us, that is stressing us. Right. So we have to first relax the body, the animal, so to speak. We got to calm the animal down, right?
Right.
And then we bypass what is called the critical filter. And I'm going to draw you a map. I'm going to give you a little bit of I'm going to show you the theory of mind. Okay.
Okay, great.
So let's just say that this circle is all mind. Yes.
Yes.
At the time when we are born, from the time that we are born, all information that comes in, let me see it this way, all information that comes in from the outside is dropping into this circle, into the mind, completely unconscious. So actually the baby is not in theta, the baby is in delta brainwaves, basically sleeping all the time. So in that state of constant absorption of information, there is no filtration of information. Everything just drops in. And this happens till about the age of 7. Around the age of 7, we develop what is called the critical mind or the critical filter. And the critical filter acts like a stopper between what we now will call the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The conscious mind is about 5%. Okay. Subconscious mind is about 95%. Right. So what happens is we learn through associations, positive associations, negative associations. And when if new information comes in, if the information is known, then it will be accepted. If the information is unknown and not approved, so to speak, by everything that was learned already, it is being rejected.
Gotcha.
So in hypnosis, what we do is we bypass this critical filter here.
That is so neat.
And we move right into the subconscious mind.
Wow. I appreciate that lesson.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much how it works.
So it allows for instantaneous awareness and instantaneous transformation. I guess that's why people are drawn to hypnotherapy, right?
Yes, it's very effective. It can be, I wouldn't say instantaneous, but
I mean,
so
I've known people that have stopped quitting cigarettes
yeah,
and other bad habits with just one session, maybe two.
absolutely.
Um,
But there
and
is there is a there are some things, some criteria that need to be in place. First of all, you have to have made up your mind. So you have to have made a decision about the things that you want to change.
makes sense.
And so the decision is really the first thing. Almost, I want to say.
So if you
another
really
one-
don't want to quit smoking, no hypnotherapist is going to be able to get you to quit smoking if that's not what you want to do.
If your wife wants you to quit smoking, but you don't, then, and you come in for quitting smoking and you say,
Yeah.
well, my wife wants me to quit smoking. I don't know if I really want to. It's not going to work because you're not committed. You don't want that change. And that's why the hypnosis, I really want to make sure that people understand hypnosis you can't make someone do something that they don't want to do. The hypnotist cannot do that. It's a myth. It's a fear that people have that the hypnotist somehow has some magical powers and is going to make you do things that you don't want to do and cloak like a chicken and bark like a dog. If you want to do that, you can, but it's not.
Yeah. So explain that to me. If you see people on stage and they're doing things that they wouldn't normally do on stage, are they kind of just using it as an excuse, or like, well, I don't, like, subconsciously when they're under, do you think they're kind of like, I really have no problem clucking like a chicken. So yeah, this is going to allow me to do that. And then, so they do it.
So it starts the moment they buy their tickets for the show. Okay. You're already suggestible to the show. You already know you want to go see that show. You've heard about it, or maybe you don't. But by agreeing, you're making an internal agreement with yourself to participate.
Okay.
It starts there. So you walk in the door, you're in the show, you want to participate, you're there. That's where hypnosis begins. And then if the hypnotist actually chooses you, which typically they have an ability, you can sort out people that are more suggestible than others based on their face features, their eye expression and all that. So there are ways to determine who's more suggestible than if one is more suggestible than another. But the hypnotist it's not like they convince you to cloak like a chicken.
More like they just allow you to. They give you
right.
that. They remove your inhibition, maybe.
That's well, you're not even if you were to be inhibited in any way, when you are in a state of hypnosis, that dissipates. You're no longer inhibited. You are in a state of complete relaxation. Gotcha. Typically, when you go to a hypnosis show, there is a little bit of a process where the hypnotist puts you under even more. There is a little bit of an induction that they do right before they start. Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, I can certainly see how, given even your explanation with hypnosis, how it can help with anxiety or relieve someone of anxiety.
Yes, absolutely.
It seems like it can kind of bypass that altogether, and do you just kind of create new habits of not being anxious? That's
right. Well, it really, let's just say you come in for anxiety, and typically we go for the cause. What causes you to be anxious? What are the triggers? We look at those things first. And so in a state of hypnosis, so let's say you want to gain self-confidence and alleviate this anxiety that can be specific to a situation. Okay. So I put you under, and based on what you want to create for yourself. So if you don't want anxiety, what do you want? You want self-confidence. You want
freedom of expression.
Freedom, exactly. So I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I'm listening to the client. Okay. So pretty much the first half an hour, that's all it is. We talk or more. And based on what you want to create, how do you want to feel? Well, I want to feel this way. Well, when was the last time you felt empowered? You felt self-assured? Well, it was when, when I ran the marathon, I felt really good. Okay, bring up that feeling.
Right.
Become present to that feeling. So when I put someone in hypnosis, what we want to do is we're gonna presence them to the anxiety first. And then we do what is called desensitization. We desensitize them to their own anxiety, and we drop in information based on what they want to create, the self-esteem, the self-assurance, whatever it is that they want to create. We drop suggestions for the change. And so that way, through repetition, we create new neural pathways.
I see. Now, is this something that can be done? Does it have to be done in person? Can it be done through kind of like what we're doing through Zoom call?
Yeah. I work with people all over the world through Zoom. So since COVID, we were doing it before as well, but obviously since the pandemic, this was has been taken to a whole new level. Right. And it works. It absolutely works. Yes.
Now, do you use a clock on a string? And I'm kidding. I'm sorry. What is it with that? Why does that work? Is that a real tool? I guess
it is. It is a real tool. It's what is called an eye fascination. It's an eye fascination tool, which basically it just creates a focus. It helps the eye. So all information comes in from the outside in through our eyes. Okay. And so we want to bring the person to having as little stimulation as possible, just because it creates a sense of calmness, right? So by using an eye fascination object, it focuses the gaze on one particular spot. And with that, it starts slowing down the brain waves right then and there. Oh. And your eyes, you remain focused on that, and your eyelids start getting heavier and heavier and heavier and heavier. And in just a minute or so, you're going to want to close your eyes, because it's just, you're focusing on one. Yes. So it's just calming down the brain through focused attention on one single point. That's it.
Gotcha. That's pretty cool.
Yes, it is. It's hypnosis is a lot of fun, and hypnosis is actually self-hypnosis. The hypnotist or the hypnotherapist is merely a facilitator. It's like an assistant. Okay. Basically, when you come in, you already know what you want to achieve. If you come to a hypnosis session, it means that you already know that hypnosis is powerful, that hypnosis does work. You're already committed, more or less, unless, your wife sent you, then we have to have that conversation, right? But most of the time, people who find their way to a hypnosis session, they already know that hypnosis works. And hypnosis is no different than, say, meditation. The only difference in terms of brain waves and in terms of calming down the brain. Okay.
Hmm.
The only difference is purpose, functionality. What do we want to use it for? Hypnosis is more targeted for, okay, I have, let's just say, I have a client who wants to, is afraid of public speaking and needs to keep, have some, get past her fear of speaking in public, right? So that's a very targeted reason. Whereas meditation is more for relaxation, for going into the void, into the universe, into the all oneness, however you want to call it, right? Experiencing pure consciousness. So, but the state itself.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Both
so it's really,
states
it's largely about intention.
That's correct.
That really makes a lot of sense. Because whenever you talk about someone going in for a hypnosis session or hypnotherapy session,
that's
there's
right.
there's always a reason, always a intention.
Absolutely.
When it comes to meditation, it's usually just to kind of, do your own thing, go in deep and connect, or whatever practice that you have.
That's right. So see, the point of stillness is really the starting point for everything. And it's meaning when I refer to hypnosis and meditation,
yes,
it's about calming down the mind and the body. They both start there. Yes. When we go all day long, and we are present in this, more or less sometimes aggravating three-dimensional reality, there's a lot of information that is coming in and is stimulating the brain, and it's overwhelming the brain. So hypnosis is even just it can be maintenance. I have people who have come to see me for years, not necessarily because they want to achieve something, although, they can say, oh yeah, I want to, whatever, create a new relationship or whatever it is, but they want this maintenance. They love being in hypnosis because when you come out of it, you really, really feel refreshed. It's a reset. It's a mind reset. You feel like just like your computer. You have, every once in a while, you have to reset your computer. What happens when you have too many programs started, they drain not only the battery, but they also drain the central processing unit of the computer. So what do? You have to start shutting down some of the programs, right? It's the brain is no different. The brain is quite literally a computer, and it works though in conjunction with the heart too. So thoughts are electrical frequency, and the heart is magnetic frequency. So an electromagnetic current, energy current, is truly what creates reality.
Right.
We're going, I mean, I can
go
metaphysical here, but I probably shouldn't.
I'm right on board with you there. Well, you had mentioned a while back when we chatted about suggestibility, and the environment around us can almost hypnotize us in a sense.
That's right.
Whether it's the clothes we wear, or the music we listen to, the people that we surround ourselves with,
the commercials we watch,
the media that we look at. Exactly.
That's right. Suggestibility, we're quite literally suggestible to everything and anything. We're suggestible to our partner. We are suggestible to our partner's voice. We are suggestible to our boss. We're suggestible to the president. We're suggestible to our parents. What does that mean? It means that influence, impact, what they say to us matters. So it influences who we are, how we take in information, to what degree we integrate that information. And that information creates, or more or less shapes, our personality and who we are. So let's just take what happened with COVID and the pandemic right now. Right?
Okay.
This, the world came to a still point, right? More or less. And last year, particularly, in March 2020, the world stopped, and terrible fear was just sent through all the media channels, right?
Yes.
This COVID virus has taken over the world, and we have to protect ourselves, go into your homes, stay in your homes, don't talk to anybody, don't meet with people, don't go outside, don't go and work out, shut down the gyms and the yoga studios and all the places of socialization. And what happened? People became very isolated. And that's the first point of breaking down a system, the human system, isolation, because we are social beings. And on a merely scientific level, what is happening is we actually have two systems of protection.
Okay.
And we have a system that protects us from the outside environment. And it is called the HPA, or the hypothalamus pituitary adrenal axis. And what happened is, I know it sounds very fancy, but this is really, really important, because when this system is set into motion, there has to be a perceived threat from the outside environment. And this is exactly what happened. There was a perceived threat from the outside environment, COVID-19, this virus that is, coming and taking over and killing people, right? Now, when HPA is setting to motion, the body has a very smart system of stopping everything else in order to focus on this, rescuing you. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you were to be, let's just say, you're in Africa and you came down with a very bad stomach flu, and you're in your little teepee there, or tent, and you are in terrible pain, but outside your teepee, you hear a lion. What do you think you're gonna do? What are you gonna do, really? The system is gonna want to run. That's the first thing it wants to do, is to protect, to run.
Okay.
When that happens, it stops the functionality of the immune system. So it stops wanting to heal the stomach flu. What happened with COVID is HPA was triggered. And so our immune system was shut down. Does it make sense?
It does make sense.
So we have a threat that attacked us, and then we have a state that was maintained through the propagation of fear through the media and stay in the house. And the physical body wants to move. That's the first thing that wants to do in order to survive. This is how we are wired. It's very instinctual for us, is to want to run for our life. We stopped going to the gym. People stopped working out, stopped going outside. It's very important to get sunlight. Okay, it's the first thing that you should do in the morning, is get sunlight in your eyes, so that your system and your nervous system is being put into motion. We stopped getting sunlight. We stopped moving. We got more and more isolated. The system shut down, and the immune system shut down automatically when HPA was set in motion. So here we are in this fight or flight mode where we can't get out, right? Now, the HPA is designed to be on for a little while, right? Run until you're in a safe place and you can't see the line anymore. Okay, now I'm good. Now I can rest, right? But we've been in this state for close to 2 years now. It's no wonder that people, and plus, if everything is hypnosis, when you keep telling people, this is deadly, people are suggestible to this information. So not only that the system is shut down biologically, because that's what's happening naturally, when you keep on telling yourself, oh my God, we're all going to die, or whatever it is that you're telling yourself, this virus is going to kill us, you are self-hypnotizing yourself into it. So a lot of times, and I'm not saying this, there's science that shows that. I mean, you can read The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton.
Yep, great book.
He makes a very clear point about all the cells in your body believe everything you're saying. So what do you tell yourself? You see, on one hand, this is a great opportunity for humanity to wake up and really look past the media. When you turn on the TV, and some people have that TV on all day long, what are you going to do? You're so suggestible to that. You're not even open to seeing anything else but that. So your world becomes more and more and more and more and more narrow. You're not exposing yourself to the sun. You're not moving. You're shutting down your entire system. So you're not going to die of COVID. Most likely you're going to die because you're telling yourself, I'm dying. And your brain believes it and your system believes it. And so your wish is my command. In many ways, that's true, because the brain doesn't know the difference between, oh, this is good and this is bad. If you're saying it to yourself, I'm going to take it on as a command. So you better speak nice words to yourself, right? Yeah.
No, everything you just said is right on the money. And what the way you finished it is perfect. I mean, how you speak to yourself is how your body will act.
That's right.
Your body listens.
Your body listens to everything you're saying.
Yeah.
So if you tell yourself, I'm no good, I'm not good enough, a really bad one, I'm a piece of shit. Okay. Right. I can't do it. I come from a family that only made, my dad only made 40,000 a year. I can't make more than that. We're poor. That's a limiting belief.
Right.
Okay. So thoughts generates an emotion, and the emotion drives a behavior, and the behavior creates a personality. And so that's how we show up in our own personal reality. If we want to change our reality, we have to change our personal
I'll tell you,
beliefs.
I've actually taken on the exercise recently of reading and like an empowering book. It just has like short 1-page, like positive affirmations or just heartwarming stories, right? Mm-hmm. I also start my mornings off oftentimes taking a look at different types of media. I try and get both sides of the story. With COVID, there's so many different dialogues going on. I try and capture or become aware of all different sides, and it is kind of ridiculous, the many faces of it. But that's not a good way to start your day off. So I do that right in the morning, and then I'll pick up my book and I will read, my positive affirmations or the heartwarming stories. And I started doing that about 3 weeks ago. And it's really quite amazing how my days have completely turned for the better. And
Absolutely.
it's delightful. So I'm almost canceling out. So I get informed.
Yeah.
If that's what you call it, right? I
Yeah,
don't even know
yeah.
if that's what you call it, but
Yes.
I get information from places I probably shouldn't. And then I kind of cancel it. And
Oh, who says that? Okay. You mean television?
well, yeah,
When you say
television
when you say when you
or
say when you say shouldn't, I'm curious why you say that.
oh, well, yeah. Well, I never used to watch any news or anything like that. I just preferred to have my eyes closed to all that negativity.
Mm-hmm.
These days, there's a lot of stuff going on that I care about and I'm really concerned about. And I don't want to be oblivious. I don't want to turn a blind eye, but it's not empowering. You know, it makes you
That's
feel
right.
like crap.
That's right.
You know, so
That's
in that
right.
sense, I shouldn't be watching that stuff because it makes me feel like crap. Fortunately, I have learned to then put that down, read something that makes me feel good, and then I start my day.
That's right. Good.
So I'm learning to kind of reprogram myself.
That's right. Yeah. See, you just said it. You nailed it. You watch something that you know makes you feel bad, which is, by the way, hypnosis. Okay. So you're
Okay.
being hypnotized into whatever you're watching there. And then you say, okay, I feel drained, whatever it is, I don't feel good, it's weighing on me. And then you're canceling it out, so to speak. You're balancing it out, you're canceling it out, you're bringing yourself back up, lifting yourself back up with reading something uplifting. Yes.
Yes.
This is self-hypnosis. And the reason I keep saying this is because it's really just the word that scares people off. Oh, hypnosis. It's not, it's a word that comes from the Greek language, and it means sleep, and that's all it is. It's not, but media and movies have done a great job at putting making it into something that it is not, making it into something where someone else takes control over you in a controlled setting. Yeah. Can it be used for negative purposes? Absolutely, yes. But when you use it for yourself, like you did, self-hypnosis, you want to empower yourself, right? And that's exactly what you're doing, and you're noticing the difference. So that's beautiful. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Is there anything else that you wanted to hit on before we started to wrap things up?
A lot of times we feel trapped, like there is no way out. Yeah. And that state is not only painful, but it's just very, very, it's very limiting. It's not real. And I want to encourage people, when they feel trapped, when they feel like there's no way out, that's exactly when you actually should seek help in some way, whether it's a friend or a psychotherapist, a hypnotherapist, whatever it is. It's not real. When you feel trapped, the trap is not an actual trap, it's a perception. Everything pretty much comes down to perception. What perception you have of yourself, of the world, how do you see the world? So trapped means limitation, right? I started bringing up the awareness that this is actually could be a great opportunity for people to become more aware of who they are, right?
Yes.
And it is very important to get past the media and look back to nature. Go outside, go move again, read a good book, connect with your friends, seek to expand, seek to grow, seek to to find yourself. Ultimately, we're here for self-actualization, right? We're here to become, another term would be individualized or fulfilled. We're here to be fulfilled, right? What does it mean? How does fulfillment look for you? What is your existence for? Those are questions that we want to ask ourselves. And that's the upside of what happened since COVID, is people have started. So there's the people that do feel trapped, and then there's the ones that are like, wait a second, what's happening here? I do feel that there is an awakening happening, that we get to talk about things that we weren't talking 3 years ago. We feel more vulnerable with each other, right? We allow ourselves to be more of who we are. Seek to express yourself in your most authentic ways. That's what I would say. Look and see, why am I here? Truly. How does life want to express itself through me? What's my gift for the world? Everybody has a gift. Everybody. There is not one single individual on this planet that does not have a gift. So if your gift is hidden, if you don't know what your gift is, if you think you don't know what your gift is, you still have a gift. So either you come to see me, or you go seek another therapist, or you do some personal development trainings, or whatever that you do, you search on YouTube, or whatever it is that you do. Find the things that interest you, that make your heart sing, and do more of that, because that's where your calling is. That's where your purpose is. That's where your gift is. Ultimately, don't deny it. Don't shy away from it. Don't put it aside. Don't treat it like it doesn't matter. It does matter. And it has you be present, because you see, when we are anxious, we are in the future. And when we worry, we're in the past. And so we project onto the future worry, and we create anxiety. We're not present. When we're present in the moment, there is no worry, there is no anxiety, the just being. And that's something that you experience in hypnosis. You experience that in meditation. You experience that when you paint, when you sing. You see, all those, when you run, if somebody is a runner, for instance, right, and is in a trance, yes, they are present in the moment. And that's ultimately what we want, because we want to live a purposeful life, right? We don't want to just wake up at, 80 years old, 90 years old, and say, where did my life go?